A first-time homebuyer left a comment and a question on my channel, and I just had to make a video about it because she seemed really heartbroken that the seller did not accept her offer. I had a seller accept my offer, and 2 hours later, she accepted a new offer for $5,000 more. Is that against the law? I'm still hurt over that. This is going to be a short video, but I thought it was important to discuss. We're going to go over 3 things that are essential to take away from this first-time home buyer situation. And if this happens to you, something extra you can do that might still get you a chance of getting your offer accepted. I'm Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. The number one thing that I want you to be mindful of is if it's not in writing, in most states, it didn't happen. Now, I'm not an attorney, but in most real estate transactions, if it's not in writing, it doesn't matter. So when she said she accepted your offer, if she only did it verbally, then it's not a binding contract. You need for her to sign the offer and send it back to you for it to be binding, where she has to abide by the things in that contract. So even though you had acceptance, more than likely it was just verbal acceptance and it wasn't a binding contract. I do have a video about what happens if they do sign the contract and then they don't want to go through with it. You can watch that next. But in this situation, it sounds like, because it was just 2 hours later, it sounds like they agreed to accept the offer in writing. Then they got another offer and accepted that offer. So you need to make sure if your contract is accepted, that it's accepted in writing. That means you need to get your offer to them very quickly and you want to get it back very quickly. You have to have it in writing. When both parties sign, typically you have a binding contract. It usually has to be received by the other party after it's signed. So check in your state when you're working with your agent, ask them, at what point do we have a binding contract? But in this instance, it's not against the law for somebody to tell you verbally, I'm going to accept your offer. And they don't do it in writing, and then they get another offer, and then they accept that offer. Okay, you have to get everything in writing. Number 2, you want to make sure when you're submitting an offer that there's a time limit on it. You don't want to make it open-ended, and often you don't want to make it too short. But you want to make sure you're giving them enough time to consider your offer, but not too much time that other offers will come in and maybe beat out your offer. Number 3, and then I'll tell you the bonus one as well. But number 3, how you can make sure this doesn't happen to you is if there is going to be competition for this home. Number 1, you want to ask, are you anticipating receiving any other offers? A lot of times the agent will be very honest with you and say yes or say no. So if they're going to anticipate other offers and you definitely want this house, you can add an escalation clause to your offer saying you're willing to beat any other offer received by a certain amount. Now, this may have happened to this buyer where they're coming in and saying, they beat their offer by $5,000. Somebody can come in with an escalation clause saying they're willing to beat any offer received with proof of that offer by $5,000, $1,000, $3,000. And then it would help you at least, may not be 100%, but it will help you secure that home because you're putting in that you would pay more than another offer received. And then the agents would work out proof of that other offer. Hey, first-time home buyer, before I give you my bonus, I wanted to make sure you know that I have a first-time home buyer masterclass and digital confidently closed handbook. If you want to be a confident first-time home buyer and not lose money on your first real estate transaction, make sure you get my guide. The links are above and below. Now, the last thing, the bonus thing that I wanted to mention to you, if you truly lost out on the home and there's not anything that you can negotiate, then you need to offer to be the binding backup to the primary offer. So if the seller accepts the first offer, you can say, can I be the binding backup? Meaning you'll be in the second position. You don't have to resubmit your offer. And if the first deal falls through, you come in as the next contract. So it at least gives you a second chance, because oftentimes, not all the times, but often things do come back on the market. It could come back on the market after the inspection. It could come back on the market, because of financing. Things come back on the market. So, if you truly lose a house that you were very interested in, offer to be the binding backup, because you never know, it could come back on the market. I hope this was helpful. Please leave any questions in the comments.